First of all, before we start, tell me a little bit your expectations with your VIP resume. In other words, what kind of job are you looking for?
I'm looking for a professional job, civil engineering. I'm looking for a job that can allow me to improve on my current skill. That can allow me to improve on my current skills, and then that can allow me to earn good money.
Okay.
So basically, I want something that will allow me to enter into the Australian market.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So so I see that you worked in as a civil engineer in Nigeria before moving to Australia. So right now, what do you do?
I'm working in the meat processing industry. I've been applying to some other. I've applied to so many companies. What I hear from them is that they want to retain my resume. At least two of them say they want to retain my resume, and then they said they have better qualified people. So those are just what I normally see.
Okay, so in other words, they tell you that, okay, we received your resume, but we had better qualified candidates than you. Will retain your resume if anything comes up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when it comes up,
So that's a polite way of saying that, okay, we didn't choose you. We didn't select you.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So nothing bad with that. It's part of the process. It just simply is a feedback telling you that they are doing certain things wrong. So I will clarify some of the mistakes you are making today, and I will show you the process that we are going to apply to turn things around for you using the VIP resume. Throughout this session, I will demonstrate to you why the VIP resume is very, very effective, the approach we use, and how we're going to apply that approach in your own case. So let me show you. I call this training fill in the blanks, and it's really about filling the blanks because every VIP resume I've created for my past clients is basically composed of two essential components. There is a skill of advertising copywriting. Hello?
Sorry.
Are you getting?
Can you see me? Because I think I'm here to see you.
Okay, let me see if I can see you.
Okay, I can see now. Okay.
Can you see me now?
Yeah, I can see you now. Yeah.
Okay, good. I don't know if I can see you. I don't think I can see you.
You can see me?
Let me see.
But I can see you here, and I can see myself.
Okay, I think. Let me see. Maybe there's something blocking my view here. Okay, let's move ahead. I cannot see you. What's happening?
All right, sorry.
I was supposed to see all of us. Anyway, let's just move ahead. No time to waste here. Okay, so so as I was saying, before we got interrupted there. So I want to show you the process. I was saying that every VIP resume I've created is made up of two essential components. The skill of copywriting that I bring to the table, and your own information about your work as a candidate. Okay. So everything you've done up to this point constitutes your experience, and you've gathered skills from those experiences. And your goal is to show an employer that from the experiences you've had, you've gathered some skills that you can put at their service. Okay. Now, the mistake most people make is that they try to focus more on describing the responsibilities they occupied, or what they did in the past, or what they were in charge of doing, rather than try to throw more light on the type of qualities and skills they can bring to the table. And when I talk about skills, I focus on problem-solving skills or result-getting skills. Okay. So let me show you some of the mistakes you're making on your old resume before we start with anything else. So if you look at your resume, the one you sent to me, there are some mistakes here. So the first thing is that let us look at all of this portion here. This first portion, skill profile: preparing project plans, initiating, executing, monitoring and controlling and closing a project scheduling, budgeting and controlling costs, all of that. Implementing human resource management, performance reporting and stakeholder management. All of those things, those are skill areas, right? Hello? Yeah. This is good so far. Yeah, this is good so far, but the problem with this is that if you have another candidate who also mentioned that they are proficient in these skill areas, to a hiring manager, it becomes difficult for them to tell which of the two of you can do better when it comes to preparing projects. All of you are just saying that I know something about preparing projects, or I know something about project scheduling, or I know something about human resource management. But you are not telling me specifically what you can do when it comes to project scheduling. What are the specific problem-solving skills in that area? When it comes, project scheduling is so broad. I want you to tell me with specifics the kind of things you've done when it comes to project scheduling. Was it a project? Was it a project for 1 month? Were there very tight deadlines? Was the budget too tight? Were accidents prevented? Those kind of things. So every hiring manager has some specifics about the kind of expectations they want for the work they want you to do. And until you start touching those expectations, talking about them, they cannot trust you. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So the problem here is that you are so generic here. You say preparing. All of these things are very generic things. They don't inform me of specifically what you can do when it comes to that. Okay, that's the first mistake. Let me go down to your work experience section. If you look at your work experience, the first one here, you say job duties and responsibilities: operating wool dryer and press, sketching and weighing fell-mongered wool. Now, all of those things, those are responsibilities that you do at your present job. But if you have to apply for another company that has nothing to do with operating wool dryer or sketching and weighing fell-mongered, all of those things don't mean anything to them. But what is essential to them is, when it comes to operating wool dryer, what are the skills there that you can transfer to another area? So maybe to another company that does a different activity. So there are some common things. It might be things like leadership skills, how you influence people or colleagues, how you get things done, how you negotiate with other colleagues for them to give you the information you want on time. Those kind of skills are transferable from one area to another. How you can work long hours. If you can work long hours, no matter the kind of work, they can choose you to work there because it involves long hours, even though the activities may be different. So those are the kind of skills you need to showcase. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Your ability to overcome challenges. Those are the kind of things you need to sell because they apply across the board. it's not just about listing your responsibilities of your present job. Your responsibilities of your present job, although it's good, it's not good enough to tell me if I have to move you from that job to another kind of job. Except you are talking about the same industry. If you want to go and work for another wool dryer or wool processing company, I don't know, what does your company do?
It's a meat processing company.
Okay. It's a meat processing company. If you want to go and work for another meat processing company, if you list your responsibilities in one meat processing company, it's easier for somebody in another meat processing company to understand what you're saying. But at the same time, if you are many of you applying for that same job of meat processing, then all of you are saying that we do the same thing. It becomes now difficult for me to tell whom of the two of you, or who of you, the many of you, can do what I want. So again, that's why you need to go deeper to explain to me how well you can do the operating wool dryer and press thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So it's not just about listing your responsibilities. It's about demonstrating how you can perform them better than somebody else. You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so it is more than that. So I see this mistake everywhere. People just listing their responsibilities. That's not selling yourself. Okay? Okay, so let's move ahead. So another thing here, so all of these things, the same mistake here for this other job: bagging of corn seeds, sorting of corn, picking of oranges, all that. Now those are just, they are not problem solving skills. They don't highlight your qualities. Let me go down to something else. Let's look at this job here as an engineer. Structural design and drafting to the specification of British standard. Okay, preparation of bending schedule, preparation of expression of interest. Now, the same mistake here. If you are applying, if we are looking for engineers who have this set of competencies, we want to know among them who performs better. So we want to take, for example, structural design and drafting to the specification of British standard. We want to know in that particular item who does it better. Okay, so the goal in your resume is to demonstrate that when it comes to structural design and drafting to the specification of the British standard, this is how well I can perform with respect to my competitors. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
It's not just about telling me that I know about structural design and drafting to the specification of British standard. It's about telling me how well you can differentiate yourself. You can perform with respect to that. Okay? So it's just like having a group of companies, or a group of companies tell you that all of us do meat let's say I want to select a company that has to do meat processing for me, and I have 10 of them apply for the job, and all of us tell them, all of them are telling me we do meat processing, we do meat processing, we do meat processing. If you were the person selecting, what will you be looking at? Will you be looking at that kind of description, or you want to go deeper to find out the processes they have, the quality standards they follow, their credentials, how they treat their customers, and all of that? You want to go deeper, right? Yeah, the same thing with you. If I'm looking for engineers and I require them to be good in certain areas like preparation of bending schedule, preparation of expression of interest, I need to know how well they can perform in that area. I need to go deeper and look at some quality or selection criteria. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So it's not just about just telling me that I'm proficient in this area and I'll hire you. No. Okay. So as we go ahead, you understand what I mean by all of this. It might not be too clear to you at this point, but as we move along, you understand. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So let us take an example here. So you said provided the structural design and detailed drawing of the residential building for client Alaji Abba Ali. Okay, you provided the structural design. Now I don't know if I'm looking for an engineer that needs to be doing structural design, and I have 10 projects for 10 clients, and all of these projects have to be delivered within the space of 1 month, and you are telling me that you delivered structural design for another client. I don't know whether you took 8 months to do it. Until you start describing me what happened, what you did exactly, and under what set of constraints, I cannot know whether you're the kind of guy I'm looking for. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So I need to have specifics of how you did the job, so that from the description of how well you did the job, I can know whether you're the kind of guy I'm looking for or not. Okay. Let me give you some examples. Let's go to case study 1. Take case study 1, the one I sent you. Look at case study 1.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you go to page 1 of that document, it says remarkable ability to provide financial and statutory reporting for the Nigerian entities in the group. Okay. Now this person is saying that they can provide financial and statutory reporting. They have that ability. Okay. That is what you are saying. In other words, in your own resume, you are just saying that I was responsible for example, just giving this like an example. Imagine that this person said in their own resume that was part of the team that provided financial and statutory reporting for Nigerian entities of the group. Okay, because that is the kind of language you are using in your own resume. You are using that kind of language like I was part of the team that did this, or I did this. Okay, now imagine that person just described this and ended here. If they just ended here, provide financial and statutory reporting for Nigerian entities in the group, then if I have another guy who says they also provided financial and statutory reporting for their own company, it becomes difficult for me to know whom of the two of them, or who of the two of them can perform the job better. So in that case, that's why we go deeper to give more details. Okay, these details that follow this subheading here of this skill is a way to describe how well this person can perform this skill. Okay.
Okay.
So we now go to say with this skill, I can avoid penalties for not meeting up with regulatory and statutory requirements for preparation and filing of audited financial statements. So now the person is telling the prospective employer that, okay, with this skill, if it's not yet understood, or if it's not yet clear to you, know that what I'm saying here is that I have the ability to avoid penalties for you, penalties that come as a result of not meeting up with regulatory and statutory requirements. I can avoid that for you. The second thing I can avoid for you is I can avoid creating a negative audit opinion arising from misstatements in the financial statements of the company. Okay. Another thing I can avoid for you is I can avoid disclosing of vital information in the financial statements, which are meant only for the shareholders and other stakeholders of the company. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this person is demonstrating the value they can bring to a prospective employer. It is not just about telling the prospective employer that this is what I do for my company now, because they are not interested in that. They are interested in what you can do for them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. They are also interested in some way in how you handle the same responsibility in your company. But not just only that. They also want to know what you can do for them, how that translates to them. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So this first part here, this candidate here is trying to explain using the VIP resume format that these are the kind of things they can contribute. Okay. Now, this second part here, accomplishment. Now the candidate is now saying that, okay, if you don't yet believe that I can do these things that I've mentioned, that I've promised you, Let me show you how I've already done it in the past. That's why we talk here about accomplishments, okay? So, accomplishment. In my first year of appointment to the position of Assistant Tax Manager at Transocean Support Service Nigeria Limited, I ensured the preparation and filing of financial statements within tight deadlines. So that's an accomplishment. You see that?
Okay.
Yeah, so all of that is still about a way to explain this promise here, this statement here that we said remarkable ability to provide financial and statutory reporting. So all of these details here is a way to explain that she has a skill here. Okay. Okay. Yeah. She went further to say, okay, ability to overcome challenges. Now, in undertaking my duties, I faced the following challenges. Challenge number 1, getting the required information from other units who did not have direct responsibility was quite difficult. Okay, so that's the first challenge. Insufficient time as I had to multitask together with other very important engagements. Now she's now portraying her qualities, because just by describing the challenges she faced while doing that job, she's now showing how she can face the same challenges in the future in another company. Because in another company, for example, there might be an equation of getting required information from other units. And that skill of getting information from other units can be transferred, even though it might be dealing with something completely different. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the hiring manager can look at this and say, okay, this person has some influencing skills. She can make things happen. She can get information from other units because she has already faced this challenge before and she knows how to manage it. You see that?
Yeah.
So in undertaking my duties, I faced the following challenges. Challenge number 1, getting the required information from other units who did not have direct responsibility was quite difficult. Second, insufficient time as I had to multitask. So she's narrating the story. She's saying that I had to multitask. I've already multitasked before. And because I had already multitasked before, if you hire me, then I already have this skill of multitasking that I can bring to your company. So it's an indirect way of selling herself just by mentioning the challenges she has faced. Okay, you see that? Yeah. Then here we go further. We say, I look forward to the interviews to reveal 2 simple but effective solutions I implemented that earned me the cooperation and support of units who did not have direct responsibility and who also did not have sufficient understanding of what these informations were being used for. So you see that? So she's now demonstrating that even with those challenges, she actually did something that worked, and she's asking for the interview to come and reveal what she did. You see that?
Okay.
And when you say those kind of things, an interviewer or a hiring manager or a recruiter gets excited because in other words, you are challenging them. You are telling them that I have something to say, and they'll be excited to invite you to come and talk. Okay?
Okay.
So you see how powerful this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
Yeah. The next thing here. So I look forward to the interviews to reveal the first point. The second point is 2 mistakes I made. So I look forward to the interviews to reveal 2 mistakes I made that, even though were not catastrophic, however, resulted in extra expenditure for my employer. Now, every hiring manager will want to know those mistakes because this is what they don't want to happen for them. They don't want extra expenditure, so they want to know those mistakes. Okay, so in other words, it's another way of asking for the interview. Okay.
Okay.
So many people spend their time in their resume just talking about what they did so well. They never talk about negative things. But we take the risk of talking about negative mistakes here, because it makes the whole thing sound believable and truthful. Okay, because you cannot really acquire something worthwhile without making 1 or 2 mistakes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
One big lesson I learned from the above mistakes, from the above mistake and how I can put this lesson to the advantage of any employer. You see that?
Yeah.
So now she's saying that, okay, I made a mistake, but I learned from it. Okay? Which is just normal.
Okay.
And then lastly, as a result of this outstanding accomplishment, a thank you email was sent to me by my boss. See right column of page 1 for the thank you email. Okay, so if you come here, you will see the thank you email. Yeah, this is it here. Okay.
Okay.
So you see how now she has now fully demonstrated that she has a remarkable ability to provide financial and statutory reporting for Nigerian entities of the group. All of these details is a way of proving that she can do that. Okay. You see that? Yeah. So in your own case, if we take your example here, where you said provided the structural design and detailed drawing of residential building for client Alaji Abba Ali. If I'm a hiring manager, I want to ask you, what were the challenges you faced? Okay, you need to tell me some of the challenges you faced when you were doing that structural design. And then I also want to know how you overcame those challenges, what you did to overcome them. Okay, you see that?
Okay.
I want to also know the mistakes you made and the lessons you learned from them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
And if you can describe if you can describe it like that, it gives me confidence that, okay, I now see how you did this work. I now see in what circumstances you were able to get results. And because I have similar circumstances, I can hire you because you come and play in the same set of circumstances that I have, which are similar to the ones you've already faced in the past and you've been successful in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So you've now showed me clearly. In fact, I can visualize you working for me because I've already visualized you working for your past employer. You've told me a complete story of how the job was done. In other words, I saw some sort of a video of you performing your work. And because I saw that, I can trust you. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So that is why the VIP resume is very powerful. It is narrative. Okay, so it makes the work easier for the hiring manager. Because remember, the process is for you to send your resume or your CV, for them to pre-select and then invite you for an interview, to question you to know whether you can really do the job. But you are taking the lead here. Instead of waiting for the interview, you bring the interview forward. You start answering the questions they already have in the back of their mind on your resume. So now they tend to trust you more than the other candidates who have not been clear about their work.
That's true.
Okay? You get the point?
Yeah.
So if you realize, we gave certain details about the work, and then we withhold certain details to create curiosity. So like here, we say 2 simple but effective solutions are implemented. We don't reveal the solutions. We just said there were 2 solutions are implemented. And if you invite me, I'll come and tell you about them. So we give some details and we hold back some. That is what creates the unfinished business curiosity that forces them to call you for an interview. Okay?
Yeah.
And with the details you've revealed, it increases their trust for you. Because just by mentioning these things, these challenges, now the whole thing sounds believable. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is how you create trust and believability. And but most importantly, that is how you demonstrate that I've actually done this before and I can do it again in the future, even if it's not in the same kind of activity. Just by narrating how you did a certain job like this, it can inform the recruiter that, okay, looking at what this person has said, I think if I put them in this kind of area, they can do well. Because in this area, it requires somebody who can interact with other people to get information from them. It requires people who can multitask among other important engagements. You see that? So by telling the story in this way, it brings to light some of the hidden qualities that I could never have imagined that you had if you did not tell me the story. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So I think you're getting the whole game now as we move ahead.
Yes.
Yeah. This is very profound stuff, trust me. It took me years to come into all of these realizations. So when I tell people how profound the VIP resume is, they think that it's just a question of design, where you bring some logos, some testimonials. It's far more than that. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so let me show you what... so the mistakes you're making here in your old resume is that you are just listing your past responsibilities and what you did and your accomplishments, but you are not thinking of how that can translate to a future employer's job that they want you to do. So you need to be forward thinking. So when you want to develop, for us to develop a VIP resume, the first thing we do is that we need to go out there and do some research. In other words, you need to know exactly the kind of job you want to do and the kind of jobs you have skills for. So let me give you an example. You just told me that you want a professional job. In what field? Is it civil engineering?
Yeah, in civil engineering.
Okay. Now let's say you want a professional job in civil engineering in Australia. You need to go out there and look and type the word civil engineering. Okay. Type the word civil engineering on the internet, civil engineering jobs, and then some stuff will come up. Let me see. Let me just do a test here. Civil engineering. 1 second. Civil engineering. Okay. Now, the job title will not be civil engineering, for example. What are the typical job titles for the kind of jobs you are looking for? Is it civil engineer?
Is that the thing as structural engineer?
Okay. Yeah.
Highway or transportation or highway engineer.
Okay. So
environmental engineer.
Okay. Let us start with structural engineer. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do a little bit of experiment here. So structural engineer, and then let's say structural engineer Australia. What's your town? What's the thing? Which town are you?
In New South Wales in Double.
Okay, how do you spell that? South Wales, New South Wales.
Yeah, New South Wales.
New South. Hold on, New South.
Yeah.
Are you seeing my screen?
Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. South is correct.
Then the next one is what?
Wales, New South Wales.
Okay, like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me type that and see. Okay, structural engineer, New South Wales. Okay, this is something that has come up here. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is it. A structural engineer, not drop consulting. Okay. Let me see. Okay, let me open this one. Okay, so this is it. Structural engineer, not drop consulting engineers. Key components of this role include, but not limited to, delivering projects across various types of structures: concrete, steel, timber, within the residential, commercial, industrial sectors. You see that? See what I'm reading?
Yeah.
Okay, delivering multiple projects concurrently. The opportunity to deliver multidisciplinary projects, client liaison, and responding efficiently to client needs. Okay, these are some of the key responsibilities that you'll be called to do. So what you need to do is, as I said, you need to be forward-looking. Instead of looking at the job you've done in the past in terms of structural engineering, you need to look at the market. Okay, so in other words, it's good to search like 5 different structural engineering jobs and try to concentrate on the list of responsibilities that are there. And when you look at those responsibilities that come up frequently for those structural engineering jobs, then it informs you that those are the kind of things you'll be called to do if you are looking for a structural engineering job. So let's imagine that delivering projects across various structures is one responsibility that you found repeatedly in 5 different job descriptions. Let's say this first one here that we chose was for Node Drops Consulting. Let's take this other one here, which is a senior structural engineer. Let's open it and see.
The same company.
Yeah. Yeah, let me see. Okay, it's the same company, but this one is senior structural engineer. Here they are talking of leading and delivering various types of structural projects across residential, blah, 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 delivering multiple projects concurrently. So you see, this task here, delivering multiple projects concurrently, tends to repeat itself because it's also in this other one here. Yeah. There are 2 jobs that I've pulled out. This one here, delivering multiple projects concurrently. It is here in this job description, and it's also on this other job description here. You see that? You see that? Mm-hmm. So it tends to repeat itself. So that might be one of the responsibilities you need to select. Okay. So so the idea is to select 5 main responsibilities like that for the kind of jobs you are looking for. Let's say you are targeting structural engineering or structural engineer jobs. Then you need to go out there and select 5 responsibilities that you think that will be found in nearly 90% of structural engineer jobs. What are the 5 responsibilities that you find in most structural engineer jobs? Even though there might be other responsibilities, what are the 5 core ones that will always repeat themselves 90% of the time? Those are the ones we are talking about. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So once we get them, the next thing we need to do is to bring them to what I call the gold digging questionnaire. You have a questionnaire that I sent to you.
Okay, I have them.
Yeah. It's called the gold digging questionnaire. That's how I call it. And the reason I call it gold digging questionnaire is because it brings out the gold that's in you as a candidate. So in other words, every candidate has some valuable skills that they have developed over time. And every hiring manager is looking for those skills. They want you to tell them, show them those skills. But most of the time, we don't know how to showcase those skills because we don't know the right answers to ask ourselves. The right questions to ask ourselves. So this questionnaire provides a set of questions that when you ask yourself, it will help to bring out that very vital information that hiring managers are looking for. So I call them the 7 key questions in every hiring manager's mind. So let's do an example. Let's say we take this one here. Okay. Delivering projects concurrently, and we put it here. Okay. That is the first responsibility that we've selected. Now, let's pretend that we want to work with that. I might want to put this in bolder characters. Let me just say 14 so that it becomes very clear, so that you can see clearly. Now, delivering multiple projects concurrently in a quality, cost-effective, and efficient manner. That is the first responsibility. If you look at this example here, example number 1, or let's say case study number 1, that is what I mean. That is what is written here in red. Okay, see that?
Yeah.
From the point that starts with, from where it starts is from where it says provide financial and statutory reporting. Forget about the remarkable ability to. That one is something we just added. Just consider this part here. Provide financial and statutory reporting. That is what that's the part that is responsibility. Now, when you say I'm able to do that, it becomes a. And that's why I call it result getting skill number 1. Okay, it's a skill is an ability to perform a responsibility. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
A skill is an ability to perform a responsibility. So they are the same thing. It's just like the way you narrate them will tell you whether it's a responsibility or a skill. So because you want to clearly communicate to a prospective hiring manager that I can clearly handle this responsibility. This is how you say it. You say it very clearly. You say, I'm able to do this. I'm able to perform this. Most of the time, when you're applying for jobs, the best way to do it is to just go to the job description and pick the first 3 responsibilities that are there, and you draft a VIP resume that is targeted just for that job. I do that with clients that choose the ultimate package. So the ultimate package, there's a service there where every time you have to apply for a job, we do that 5 times in a space of 12 months. So once you've already paid for that ultimate package, anytime you want to apply for a job, we go through the same process. You send me the job description, and we pick the responsibilities from that job description, and you answer those gold digging questions under that responsibility. I'll come to that later. For now, it's not clear, but I'll explain that again later for you to see. For now, let me just show you what I want us to. So let's go back to the questionnaire. Okay, so this is responsibility number 1. We've chosen this responsibility, and let me go to case study number 1. So I told you that this is the part here. Okay, that responsibility from that questionnaire. This is where this is where we bring it. We bring it back to we use it on the VIP resume like this, after the client has answered all of the questions. Okay, let me show you something that's very interesting. Open example number 1. Example number 1. So I want to show you that this is really about a fill in the blanks exercise. So you see, remarkable ability to, this space here is where you fill with your responsibility. Okay, so remarkable ability to, or it can be able to. We can remove the word remarkable. We can just say able to. Okay, able to do that, able to do X, or able to do Y. Okay, so in that case, this skill, we just copy this one here. So we can say able to deliver multiple projects concurrently in a quality and cost-effective manner. Okay, you see that? So we can just say, we can just say to make things easy, we can just say deliver. Instead of delivering, we can just say deliver multiple projects concurrently in a quality, cost-effective, and efficient manner. Okay, that is the first responsibility. So if you look at example number 1, now this, I'm just showing you some of the statements, the statement structure that I've used. I use so many of them when writing VIP resumes, but I just want to show you that, okay, it's about 2 components. My statements that are proven to be very effective when communicating your skills, and the data or your information that you inject into those statements. Does that make sense? Yeah, so I say result getting skill number 1, remarkable ability to, you have to provide me the information that I will fill here. Then when I start writing, I can use this particular formula here. It's one of my fascination formulas. So I say with this skill, I can, number 1, avoid X, avoid Y, avoid Z, ensure X, ensure Y, ensure Z. Okay, so anything that follows avoid is a problem. So you can use this skill to avoid a certain problem, and you can use it to avoid another problem, and you can use it to avoid another problem, and then, or you can use it to ensure a certain result. Anything that follows ensure is a result. Ensure another result, or ensure another result. So let me show you where that information is coming from. If you look at the example, the case study number 1, you see how that is being played here. You see, with this skill, I can avoid penalties. You see that? I can avoid penalties for not meeting up with. You see that?
Yes.
Yeah. I can avoid creating a negative audit opinion. I can avoid the disclosure of vital information. You see that? So those are the problems now how do I get that information that I fill in there? It comes from this questionnaire that you need to answer. So the first question I ask you is, what problems is this a responsibility aimed at avoiding or solving for the employer? You need to tell me the problem number 1, problem number 2, and problem number 3. So for this particular client, in their gold digging questionnaire, the first thing they said, the first problem was that they said it will avoid penalties. And then they said it will avoid creating a negative audit opinion. And then they said it will avoid the disclosure of vital information. So all of this information here was provided to me as answers to my questions. You see that?
Yes.
So you need to do the same thing. So once you've decided what kind of job you are looking for, and you now go and make your research on the kind of responsibilities that repeat themselves frequently for those kind of jobs, then you can now go ahead and copy those responsibilities and paste them here. There should be 5 of them. You paste responsibility number 1 in this first box, and you go down to this second box here. You paste responsibility number 2, and you go down again to this third box. You paste responsibility number 3, and you do that repeatedly up to responsibility number 5. Now, once you've pasted your responsibility, the next thing is to answer the questions under them. So tell me the first problem you have avoid by performing this responsibility. So if you can deliver multiple projects concurrently in a quality, cost-effective, and efficient manner, what kind of problems would I avoid? We did avoid for an employer. You have to tell me. You have to be imaginative to tell me what kind of problems it will avoid. Again, if you've already done it in the past as part of your experience, it won't be difficult for you to tell me what problems you avoid for your employer because you already know it from your experience. So tell me 1 or 3 of them. Because I've put three spaces here, it simply means that you must give me at least 1 problem or maximum 3 problems. Not more than 3, not less than 1. Okay? The same thing here, results. So results is just the same thing. If you look at the case study here, you realize that this second part here, it starts with the word ensure. Ensure that the books of the local entities in Nigeria are prepared in line with international financial reporting standards. So this is a result. So remember I told you anything that follows ensure is a result. So it comes by providing answer to this question. So what results? This is question number 2. What results is this responsibility aimed at achieving for the employer? So if you look at the questionnaire here, I say you should start the answer to this question with words like ensure, guarantee, improve, boost, increase. So you can say it will increase this, or it will boost this, or it will ensure this. Those are the kind of words you need to use when you are describing a result. The same thing here when we are talking about problems. The kind of words you want to use when it's about problems is words like avoid, prevent, stop, eliminate, reduce, etc. Okay, use those kind of action verbs. Okay, does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so let's go down. So once you finish with those first 2 questions, let's go back to the case study. So you see this. So when as you provide me that information, I'm showing you where I'll use it as an example. Now I can use it in this formula, or I can use it in another formula. I have so many formulas. There are more than 18 of them. I'm just showing you this for you to understand why I need that information. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next thing here, it says accomplishment. In my first year, okay, let's see what the case study says. The case study says, because the case study is simply the same thing like the example, I've just taken out the client's information and left the spaces blank. So let's see, it says accomplishment. In my first year, of appointment to the position of Assistant Tax Manager at Transocean Support Services Nigeria Limited, I ensured the preparation and filling of financial statements within tight deadlines. So let's see how that translates here. So accomplishment: in my first year of appointment to the position of insert title or position at insert name of organization, I insert description of accomplishment. So in other words, what we want in this particular area is a description of accomplishment, or in other words, tell a complete story of what you did. So where is that coming from in the questionnaire? Let me show you where it's coming from. If you go to the questionnaire, it comes from this place here called accomplishment. So in other words, when you are filling this box here, what I need from you is to tell me what you accomplished, what you did. Okay, that was extraordinary. Okay, it is just like the normal accomplishment that we used to talk about in our old mediocre traditional resume format. Okay, that is the kind of thing I need you to tell me here. Yeah. But I need you to go deeper than that. I need you to be more specific with a lot of details. Okay, so that's why I say insert description of accomplishment, or in other words, tell a complete story of what you did. So I'm really talking about complete story. Tell me all of the details. I will pick out the ones that are important, and I'll leave out the ones that are not important in details. But it's always good to tell me your complete story, because in that complete story, there might be something there that the hiring manager wants to know about or is interested in. Okay. So, another thing that I've not talked about here is this one here, insert the title of the position. So, let me show you how you provide me that data. You see name of employer. You see this?
Okay.
Remember that in this example, there is insert name of organization. Okay.
Yes.
So how do I know that this guy was working for Transocean? If you look at the case study, it says, in my first year of appointment in the position of Assistant Tax Manager at name of company. So that data is coming from here. It's coming from this part of the question. It's coming from here, name of employer, and then it's also coming down here from position held. So you need to tell me your position that you held, and you need to tell me the start date of the accomplishment and the end date of the accomplishment. All of that is what is found in this case study here. This is the name of the position. In my first year, that is the start of the accomplishment in my first year. So in other words, it is what the client wrote. The start date of accomplishment, she simply wrote her first year, and the end date was maybe later. So if you have an accomplishment that was continuous, you can put the start date and you put the end date ongoing. Or if you had an accomplishment that had a start date and an end date, just simply give me the start date and the end date. I need all of that information. The next thing is benefits of accomplishment. So I've already told you that you need to fill the accomplishment, narrate the story of what you did, tell me the employer for whom you did it, and then the next thing is to tell me the benefits of the accomplishment. I will show you an example of that. So let's go ahead and see. So let's look at the case study again. So you see what it says: ability to overcome challenges. Now these are my proprietary statements. Okay, these are my tested powerful statements. When a hiring manager sees this kind of phrasing, they are enticed. Okay, that is what they are looking for. Somebody who can overcome challenges. So when I use those kind of statements, it's because I know they work. Okay, so ability to overcome challenges. In undertaking my duties, I face the following challenges. Okay, challenge number one: getting the required information from other units who did not have direct responsibility was quite difficult. That's the first challenge. So challenge number two: insufficient time, as I had to multitask with other very important engagement. Let me show you where it's coming from in the questionnaire. Where are those challenges coming from? If you go down again, go down to question number 4. What obstacles or challenges did you face in carrying out this responsibility? This is where you need to give me, this is where the client provided me with the challenge that I used to fill there. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So they have to tell me the challenge or obstacle they faced here. And then they have to also tell me the negative impact of the challenge. Or in other words, why was it considered a challenge? Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I give them the possibility to give me up to 3 challenges. Just like I give them the possibility to give me 3 problems, 3 results. There's also the possibility for 3 challenges and obstacles. Okay? 1, 2, 3. So in this particular case, we had 2. This and this. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. And the challenge is made up of 2 parts. There is the challenge, and there's also why it is a challenge. Because the reason I put it that way is because some people are very poor at describing a challenge. So let me give you an example, a bad example. When you ask somebody for a challenge, because they speak in their head, they think that what they have in their head is what is out there, or they think that they live with the illusion that they have already communicated everything that is in their head. So they will tell you something like, challenge number 1, getting the required information from other units, and they'll stop there. To me, listening to you, I cannot figure out why that was a challenge. Okay? But if you go ahead to say, this unit did not have direct responsibility, so in other words, they were not interested. It was not a priority. If you could go ahead and explain it to me that getting required information from other units who did not have direct responsibility and who felt it was not their priority was difficult. If you explain it like that, now it makes sense to me that you are talking of, and I'll now see why that was a challenge. Okay, so in other words, when I did not clarify that, I used to call back the client to say, okay, please, can you explain to me why this was a challenge? So in order to stop doing that, I had to now create a box for them to tell me, to explain to me why this was a challenge, so that with the 2 information, I can now take it to form one statement that communicates well why that was really a challenge. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the information in this first box and this second box, they are all talking about one thing, but the aim of the 2 boxes is to make sure that we have a communication about the challenge which is very clear, which really sounds like a challenge. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it. So the same thing here. So some person will tell some other person will tell you challenge number 2, insufficient time, and they end there. They want you to figure it by magic that insufficient time was a challenge. Okay. Yeah. But because she added this part there, she added this part here, which says, as I have to multitask together with other very important engagements. So that is why time was not sufficient. So it explains, it is clear now.
Okay. Yeah.
So in other words, they're indirectly, by doing this, they're indirectly communicating the fact that they know how to juggle several responsibilities at the same time. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Now let me go ahead with the example again. So describe challenge or obstacle, yeah, and say why it was a challenge or obstacle. Okay. Then describe the next one again and say why it was. So that is how you fill the blanks. Now let's continue. So now it goes ahead to say, okay, I look forward to the interviews to reveal. This is another proprietary statement of mine. This is another proprietary fascination statement. Whenever I use this statement, it's a very powerful introduction. I look forward to the interviews to reveal. Now the word reveal is very powerful. It's a powerful word. So it shows that there is something that I'm keeping that I need to talk about, I need to share, And because I use the word reveal, it shows that what I want to talk about is very, very important. Does that make sense? Yeah. So two simple but effective solutions are implemented that earn me the cooperation and support of the units who did not have direct responsibility. So in other words, remember the first challenge was that the units who did not have responsibility for the direct responsibility did not feel as if it was a priority, and so they were not interested. I need to force them. I need to push them. So now I'm saying that I want to tell you what I did that really forced them or that influenced them to give me that information. I want to tell you about these two simple but effective solutions I implemented that earned me the cooperation. So what did I do? I want to tell you what I did that earned me their cooperation. Every hiring manager wants to know that, because that is what they want. That's of interest to them. They want to know whether you are that kind of guy they are looking for. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
So you see, yeah, this is a cream. This is a cream of the crop. This is what they want to know. This is what they want to hear. This is how you need to communicate to get their attention. So you see, I put here in blue, I said this part makes reference to the solutions you implemented in order to overcome the challenges or obstacles. So where this is information that we are concealing. In other words, the client gave me this information, but I did not put it on the VIP resume. I only make reference to it. By making reference to something, it means that you are not really revealing that thing. You are just teasing it. Okay, you are teasing it. Okay, so this part makes reference to the solutions you implemented. So let me show you where you need to provide me those solutions in the questionnaire. Just after question number 4 is question number 5, and question number 5 talks about the solutions you implemented. So question number 5 says, what special skills or personal initiatives or new ways of doing things or innovations did you or could you apply to overcome the obstacles or challenges mentioned above in question number 4? Okay, so after mentioning the challenges, the next thing is to tell me that, okay, for challenge number 1, this is what I did as unique solution number 1. Okay, and then for challenge number 2, this is also what I did as unique solution number 2, and so on. For challenge number 3, this is what I did as unique solution number 3. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now, just like the challenges, I realize that some people tell me this what they did as solution, but they don't tell me the positive impact or the positive outcome of that solution. Why was that solution? What was the result of the solution? They don't tell me that. So I force them to tell me by splitting it into 2 parts. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So if you look at this one here, if you go back to the case study, so we are saying here that 2 simple but effective solutions are implemented that earn me the cooperation and support of units who did not have direct responsibility and who also did not have sufficient understanding of what this information were being used for. So now that is very powerful. Okay, let me go back to the example. The next thing is two mistakes I made that, even though were not catastrophic, however resulted in extra expenditure for my employer. This part makes reference to, so what did I say in blue? This part makes reference to mistakes you made, because remember, we don't want to reveal the mistakes, because it might be silly mistakes that if we just talk about them, if we reveal them on our resume, it might reject us we might not gain the invitation to the interview. Okay, but promising that you tell me, promising that I will tell you the mistakes in an interview, every hiring manager will be glad for you to come and tell them the mistake because they know that most candidates will not even tell them the mistakes they made. Okay, you see that? Yeah, but we don't reveal the mistake. We just tell them that we made 2 mistakes. It's still a secret until you invite me to come and tell you. Okay. Very powerful. Now let me tell you where they give me that mistake in the questionnaire. Everything is taken care of by the questionnaire. It is question number 6. Okay. what biggest mistake or failure did you experience when carrying out this responsibility? You have to tell me the mistake here or failure. What was the mistake's negative impact to the employer? You also need to tell me the negative impact it had on the employer. Okay, I need that information. Okay, and you yourself, you need this information the day you are going for the interview. You need to go back to this your answer sheet, because that's where most of your answers to the interview will be there, lying there waiting for you. So in other words, when you are preparing for your VIP resume, you are doing two things at the same time. You are preparing your VIP resume and you're also preparing the interview. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So that is it. Okay. Let's take a break for 5 minutes, and I'll come back and show you more stuff. Yeah.
Your account balance will allow you to talk for 192 minutes. Please wait while we connect your call.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so let me see. Okay, I think I can see you now. Yeah, I can see you very well now. You can see me too, right?
Yeah, I can see you.
Good. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. So, as I was saying, so as I was saying, let me continue showing you the relationship between the questionnaire and the final product. Okay. Let me go back to another example in the case study. That's example number the example file. Okay, so let's go down to page 2. You see here it says a result getting skill number 2 are able to, and then you fill in the blanks. See that?
Yeah.
Okay. So able to, in this particular case for this client, if you go to their case study, it was able to lead teams on group reporting, statutory and joint venture audits of various clients in oil and gas exploration, production and services industry in Nigeria. Okay, so the example, in the example, you just need to fill in the rest, your next responsibility here. Okay, so all you need to do is what you provide me as number 2, as responsibility number 2 here, what you paste here. Okay, that will be the second responsibility. Okay, so let's go ahead. So accomplishment between start date and end date. So I actually wanted to say end date. So it's start date and then it's end date. Okay. So between start date and end date, as title of position at name of organization. So that is what I'm saying. So if you look at the case study, it says accomplishment between 2007 and 2008. Now those are the dates. Remember those are the dates you put here. Remember this this accomplishment start date and accomplishment end date. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So between 2007 and 2008, as Senior Associate 1 and 2 Energy and Utilities Group at KPMG. KPMG is the name of the company. Title of position is this, as Senior Associate. So that is what you put in this place here, position held at the time of the accomplishment. You need to put it here. So if you go ahead, I successfully led a group of 4 consultants on group reporting for clients like Petroleo Brasilio and so on, Transocean Support Services. So all of these is a description of the accomplishment. So this is what the client described. That is why in the example here I said description of accomplishment, further description of accomplishment, and then result of accomplishment or benefits to the employer. So this part here, which is the result, is actually the part that the client you have to fill here. So when I ask you of benefits of accomplishment, it's because I want you to link it to the accomplishment. So tell me how the accomplishment is linked to the benefits, or how the benefit is linked to the accomplishment. Some people just talk about accomplishment, but they don't take the time to describe how that impacted the organization. Okay. Most of the time is the impact of the accomplishment to the organization that helps the hiring manager to relate to it. Okay. So let's say in the prospective organization, they are looking for somebody who can manage projects in a way that will help them win more contracts for the organization. And let's say you manage the project well. Instead of linking it to the benefit, which is, as a result of me managing most of our projects well, we're able to win more contracts. Instead of you using that last phrase, which is we're able to win more contracts as a result of me managing my projects very well, if you leave out that fact, which is ability, the fact that we won more contracts as a result of me managing the projects well, you are losing a point, because maybe the organization you want to go and work for, they're actually looking for somebody who can help them win more contracts through excellent project management. Okay, so it's always good to link what you do to the benefit to the organization. So that is why this box here is very important. Benefits of accomplishment to employer. And I said, please be specific with details. It's very important. So this is exactly what this lady did here. So she said, I successfully led a group of 4 consultants on group reporting for clients like Petroleo Brasileiro, Nigeria, Transocean Support Services, Petroleum Oil and Gas Company of South Africa, and among others, thus maintaining the brand name. So this is a benefit here to the organization, thus maintaining the brand name of KPMG by satisfying the clients. So that's it. Okay. Yeah, results. I look forward to the interviews to reveal 2 simple but effective solutions I implemented that earned me the cooperation. Okay, well, I think we've already talked about this one. Yeah, let me go. It was down here, so we're down here. Thus maintain the brand name. Okay. Okay, yeah. So thus maintain the brand name. Then the next thing is remarkable ability to overcome challenges. I look forward to the interviews to discuss in greater detail how we achieve the above result despite huge challenges like. So this is almost the same formula but with a little spin on it. So yeah, another challenge, tight deadlines as the reporting deadlines are non-negotiable. Okay. So if this person just said tight deadlines as a challenge, it wouldn't have been so clear to a hiring manager. But by going further to say reporting deadlines are non-negotiable, it really clearly tells us why it was a challenge. Okay. And then they went further to say this puts extra pressure on my team, and even had to close work very late. So in other words, this person is telling the employer that I am that kind of guy who has already worked on projects that have forced me to work very late in the night and stay in the office. So if you are looking for a guy who can stay in the office long hours, I'm that kind of guy. Does that make sense? Yeah. So through this story, they are indirectly selling themselves to the employer, and they do it in a very natural, authentic way. Okay?
Okay.
In a very powerful way that the hiring manager just tend to realize that, hey, but this is the guy I'm looking for, without really knowing that we're actually selling ourselves to them. You see that?
Yes.
Challenge number 2. Client employees unable to provide necessary information for the audit review within the required time frame. Negative impact. This makes the reporting process extremely difficult as insufficient information were provided. You see that? So this person went ahead to really define, to really explain why this was a challenge. Third challenge, other junior colleagues also needed to be trained and coached during the engagements. So by the time they were doing this work, they also need to take along with them new employees to train them on the job. So this delayed the reporting process as every action had to be explained to them. So this is why it was a challenge. Okay. So in other words, they're indirectly telling the hiring manager that if you also need me to be training people on the job while I'm doing the job, I can also do that. So you see how taking the time to explain some of the challenges you faced can really sell you?
Yes.
So there's no way this kind of information would have been said if you just limited yourself to the top level information, which is just listing the kind of things you've done. Just like you were saying that I was involved. If you look at your resume, if you look at your old resume, you can see the huge mistakes you were making. You said you said part of the team that provided the design and detailed drawing of Whitestone Nigeria Limited. And so what? What was there? If you were part of the team, what did you actually do that you can do for me also? Maybe you were part of the team, maybe you were the driver. Okay. You can be part of, you can be the driver and still be part of the team. Okay. Or you might be the security man and still be part of the team. What did you actually do there that compels me to recruit you? Does that make sense? Yeah. So some people just overlook this, but it makes a profound difference. Okay. So I hope you're seeing that. I hope the light bulbs are going on in your head now.
Very well.
Okay. Okay, so you say this description of challenge, and then negative impact of challenge or obstacle, or detailed explanation of why it was an obstacle. Okay, so this is how you need to provide me. And again, as I told you, it's coming from this point here in the questionnaire. It's coming from question number 4. This part and this part will give us a good description of the challenge. This part and this part will give us a good description of why it was really a challenge. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let me go ahead. Let me take another example so that you really understand. Repetition is the first law of learning, and that's why I use repetition, because by repeating it all over and all over again, you really understand why this is important. So let's look at this other one here. Able to, result getting skill number 5. Able to, you fill in the responsibility here. Okay. Now I know how to, so you can say with this skill I can avoid, or you can also say I know how to. So those are just different expressions are used. Okay, as I told you, I've used a lot of formulas. I always try to make sure they are different for different client resumes. And I use a lot of formulas also, but I just want to show you. So I know how to avoid problem number one. Remember, in your questionnaire, you need to tell me the problem. I know how to avoid problem number two. I know how to ensure result number one, ensure result number two, ensure result number three. You get that?
Yeah.
Accomplishment. Title of position, name of organization. The following is the major challenge I faced with regards to main responsibility. So let's say the main responsibility is with regards to scheduling projects. Or let's say you say scheduling projects is one of the responsibilities. You can say, we will say able to schedule projects. So here we'll say the following is the major challenge I face with regards to scheduling projects. Put scheduling projects here. And the solution I apply to overcome it. So you need to describe the challenge here, and then you need to tell me the negative impact of the challenge in this particular formula, and you need to tell me the solution you apply to overcome that challenge. So let me show you how it is done here. That's another formula I use. Let's go to number 5 here. You'll see how it is used. So it says, as assistant tax manager for Transocean Support Services, the following is the major challenge I faced with regards to forecasting and the solution I applied to overcome it. Challenge number 1. So let's say challenge. Some key personnel have little or no knowledge on finance and so do not provide us with the essential information needed for forecast. So that's the challenge he faced. The negative impact of that challenge was that when this inadequate information are used for forecasting, unanticipated expenses are later incurred. You see that?
Yeah.
And then the solution, I ensured these key personnel were trained to appreciate the importance of the information needed for forecasting. So in this case, we did not hide anything. We just told the hiring manager the exact solution we did. Rather, like in the other formulas, we use curiosity. But in this one, we reveal everything we did. The reason I use a mixture of revealing everything and curiosity formulas is because we don't want to give the impression that we are hiding everything. We want to also demonstrate that we know what we're talking about. So by actually telling them what we do, in some cases, it will give them more trust to know that, okay, if they invite us to come and speak in the interview, we actually have something to say. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
So it's a mixture of revealing and withholding. You see that? But again, all of the information is coming from the questionnaire, from the gold digging questionnaire. Yeah. So this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to different formulas I've used. That's why I sent you two other samples, case studies, so that we can go through some of the other formulas I've used, so that you can really see how powerful they are. So if you go to case study number 2, for example, case study number 2, Chidi Ebere. It's still opening up. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so so this is an example, yeah. So this is Chidi Ebere. Now you see these are other formulas. Okay, so yeah, the same thing, able to, Then we talk about the response. We describe the responsibility here. Okay. That's all of that is describing the responsibility. And then here, we started with a comment that his boss made, and we talk about the comment. And then here we said, proof: the original email from my boss as well as the investigative report can be shared upon request during the job interview. This is another way of asking the interview. Okay. Yeah. And then accomplishment: by fully understanding our partner. So here we narrate the accomplishment completely, all of the details of the accomplishment. And then here we talk about the results, benefits of the accomplishment to the organization. So the new memorandum of understanding ensured that our partners were accessing funds at a cheaper rate, thereby increasing partner profitability. The actual savings varied from partner to partner depending on their peculiar circumstances. So I can't say exactly how much was saved. All of that is a narration of the benefits. But as an example, one of the partners in my own territory, blah blah blah, bank charges constant close to 40%. So all of that is a narration of the complete story. Okay. This is another one here. Able to develop all of this is the responsibility. Accomplishment: in 2010, out of 300 sales and distribution staff, I was selected as winner of the Making a Difference award. So this is another narration here of an accomplishment. Okay. How and why did I win the MAD award? I initiated a model known as blah blah blah. So all of that is, so you see, I have multitudes of formulas I can use to express your information. All you need to do is fill in that questionnaire with the right information. Okay. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I say all you need to do is fill in the questionnaire with the right information.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay, so those are examples. You can go through the examples and you really understand what we are doing here. So, so the next thing I need from you is that you go now and do the exercise, the assignment, which is, first thing, go online, just like we've done here.
Okay.
First of all, decide, ask yourself, from my past 5 years of experience as a civil structural engineer, what are the kind of jobs I can do? Go online and search their titles and look at their responsibilities and ask yourself, can I perform this responsibility? Can I perform this? Can I perform this? And once you've decided that you can perform them, look for about 5 different job descriptions or the kind of job you want to do. Let's say senior structural, let's say it's structural engineering, then look for 5 different job descriptions for structural engineering and study their responsibility area, their responsibility section, and see whether the same responsibilities keep repeating themselves. And if they keep repeating themselves, you can now say, okay, I will choose these 5 and work on them with my gold digging questionnaire, so that if I send it out there for this kind of job, I have a greater possibility of being called for an interview. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I always tell clients, I always like to be authentic and clear with clients. What we are doing here is called level 1 targeting. In other words, we are just doing our best bet. That's why we do a sampling of 5 different job descriptions and then focus on 5 responsibilities. But if you really want to increase your chances, I will encourage you to subscribe for the ultimate VIP resume package, which is we do 5 modifications within a period of 12 months. So each time there's a job you want to apply for, we repeat the process. We pick like the first 3 responsibilities for that job with the exact words that were used to describe them, and we answer gold digging questions on that, so that we try to answer the questions that are key in their mind, and then we send it for that job. Okay, we do that 5 times in a period of 12 months. That increases your chances of getting one of those jobs, because not only will you be using the exact words that they use. So let's say in this particular job, they say leading and delivering various types of structural projects across residential, aged care, fill out, blah, blah, blah. In your VIP resume, the hiring manager will see something like able to lead and deliver various types of structural projects across residential, aged care, fit out, education, mixed use, industrial and commercial. When they see that kind of a thing, they say, okay, this is the guy I'm looking for. You see, they get hooked and they want to read it because you are using the exact same words. You see that?
Yeah.
So the VIP resume we are creating now for you is like the first level of targeting that you need to send out there for as many jobs with the wish that it will match most of them. But if you want to increase your chances, the ideal way was to do it for each job. Okay, so let's say you have a job, you see an opening and it is due in the next 10 days. You take 2 days to answer the goal digging questions for maybe 2 main responsibilities. The first 2 or first 3 responsibilities. You don't need to do 5 at that time. You just need to do 1 or 2 or 3 to add to the existing 5 you already have. And you answer them, and then you apply for that position. You take 2 days to answer the questions, send it to me. I update your VIP resume and we send it for that particular position with a cover letter for that particular position. We do that 5 times within a period of 12 months. And what you pay for that service is insignificant as compared to if you finally get one of those jobs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So I have clients who have taken the ultimate package and it's good for them.
Okay.
But if you are lucky, if you do your targeting well, I've had clients who have also gotten jobs just by doing a level 1 targeting.
Okay.
Okay, so that is it. Just said I should let you know about that possibility. So the first thing now what you need to do is now do that first level of targeting. Pick 5 responsibilities across different job descriptions and put them together on your questionnaire and answer the goal digging questions under the 5 responsibilities and submit to me. All of that, I give you a week maximum to send me your answered questionnaire with all of the details.
Okay.
And I sent you an email of all the things I need from you.
Yeah.
I think you saw it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Recommendations, if you don't have them, I showed you how to get them. All of those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I can ask question now.
Yeah, you can ask questions right now.
Okay. Let me start section.
Mm-hmm.
I actually just did project management between 2012 2014 through SIP learning because I wasn't doing project management in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
But while I was in Australia, I just did that one online learning.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that through SIP learning. And I've tried to, I think I've gained those skills, but then I've not practiced it. So those skills, I still have the software and the online learning software, the case still on my discipline. So that one is the first one I want to ask, that I've actually learned all those forms. And I don't want to say I've not learned them, because I think it's something that I can bring, it's something I can market, that look, I have learned, I've gone online to try to add to my skill. I've gone through online learning to learn project management. And also done Microsoft managing projects with Microsoft Office. So that's by putting that one there is to try to market myself. Look, I can also try to do my project management if given the opportunity.
Yeah.
I think that's why I put that one there.
Yeah.
Secondly, under the food processing management, under where I'm working now at the meat exporting company. What my concern is that okay, I think I did some spectacular things, but then some people recognize it. They're like in excited, they are talking to me. He did this guy. He's the one that is the only one that can do it, like operating the wood and press. I did some. I saw some problem for them. I think I saw some problem for them. And in that respect, but then for in this like your resume, I don't know how would I convince an employer that I actually if my current employer may not want to comment on such an outstanding thing that I did for them.
They don't need to. They don't need to. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Can I answer that question before you go ahead?
Sorry?
Can I answer that question before you go ahead?
Okay, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, they don't need to necessarily back it up with a recommendation. Although if they do, it will be better. But just by narrating the story of what you did, it still sounds convincing. Stories are very convincing because they have a lot of details. When somebody is reading a story, there's a lot of details that tells them that this can only be true. Stories themselves act as proof.
In my the ones that she provided structural design, because the one that I did in Nigeria. When I got to that office, there was I did something also there. But then I don't know whether it will carry. Whether it will be convincing to an employer. Although it's something that they're supposed to know, but in that office, those that were designing didn't know what I know. So I was the one that brought the idea to them, and my boss even commented. But then it wasn't something that they wrote an email or an official letter. What it just did that was that what I brought them was solve the problem of how they were designing before. So I was the one that changed the way they were doing design just a little, let me say in a little way. Compared with what they were even my senior engineers, they didn't know how to do it, but I was the one that brought the idea of how to design that way.
Yeah.
And then secondly, some of them don't know how to use one or two of them didn't know how to use software to design road. I was the one that also taught them based on my previous experience in one of the offices I was working before I got to that other one.
Yeah.
So my just concern is that how do I now put all those things in my CV without, I think, so that they don't see me and say, maybe it's lying.
No, you're not lying. Yeah, just say the way it is. Just say the way it was. Narrate the story exactly what happened and what you did. As simple as that. It will make sense. But try to always choose stories that are related to the topic. What I mean by topic, stories that are related to the responsibility. Let me give you an example. Let's say, the responsibility is deliver multiple projects concurrently in quality, cost-effective, and efficient manner. You need to ask yourself that where in my career was I involved in delivering multiple projects at the same time? Sit back for a while and remember and think. Now, when you think and you remember that time in your career where you were delivering projects concurrently, narrate now, focus on that particular, maybe you were working in a particular company and that was happening. You had so many projects going on at the same time. Focus on that particular context in that particular company and describe what you were doing to be successful at delivering multiple projects. How did you organize yourself? Maybe did you come to work at 7? Tell us. If it's about coming to work early enough and planning your day before the start of the day, tell us all of those things. That's just an example. So in other words, you'll be choosing a story that relates to the responsibility. Don't just choose stories that have nothing to do with the responsibility. Because the aim here, what you're trying to do here, is actually to convince the hiring manager that when it comes to delivering multiple projects concurrently, I've actually done it. Yeah. So in other words, you have a lot of things. Yeah, you have a lot of things you've done in the past, but each time you need to select those things that are related to the responsibility you're trying to respond to.
Okay.
It's not just It's not just saying everything you've done in the past. No, it's being selective and trying to portray a skill set.
Okay. Okay. About the 12-month program, I don't know. I would like to do it, but then maybe to be maybe January.
Okay, no problem. When we finish your VIP resume, you can enroll for that one.
Okay. And then I would like to know the cost. And then just to add one more thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing I'll be doing my master's degree next year. Although I've already enrolled in a course, in a graduate certificate in engineering. I don't know whether I can also add that onto my resume. The graduate certificate in engineering can be added to my master's degree in coming next year.
Yeah, with the ultimate package, there is a possibility. What I call multiple modifications is actually 5 times 12 months. So it means that it's not only about applying for jobs. If you have a certificate or a course you just did and you got a certificate, you can call me and say, Sylvester, I want you to include this in my VIP resume. That's part of the modifications. That's part of the package you've paid for. Yeah. So anytime you have something to add to your VIP resume, we'll add it, provided we are within your 5 multiple modifications.
Okay.
And right now.
My question for now.
Yeah. Pardon?
I said that's all my question for now.
Okay, those are all your questions for now. Okay, no problem. Maybe as time goes on, we'll answer more of them. Okay, thanks for your time. I think we are at the 2-hour mark for our training. So we've done 2 hours together. That's huge. I hope you learned a lot. So now you need to go ahead and apply all what I've said and submit it to me for us to move ahead with your VIP resume creation.
Okay. Can I ask for a request? I don't know whether I can.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
You said you wanted to record this conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I can have a copy of it. So
Yeah. Yeah, I can send you a copy of the video, no problem, free of charge.
All right, that would be very nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, any other thing?
When should I submit it? Friday or Saturday?
Yeah, let's just say Friday. Let's just say Sunday latest.
Okay. I should solve it before that.
Yeah. Now you can also reach out to if you want to exploit some of your experiences in project management and civil engineering and structural engineering. You can also reach out to the people you work with in your past companies and ask them for recommendation letters, just as I mentioned, using the exact email I sent to you. Send them that email, request for recommendation by sending them that email, exactly using the exact words that are in that email. Just copy and paste and send to them. And then you can also call them over the phone if you have some of their phone numbers and repeat the same exact words in the email. That email has been proven to be very effective when getting recommendations. I have people who came to me without a single recommendations within a week after sending that to about 10 people they have worked with. About 3 to 5 of them send them recommendations. So you can do the same.
I believe, last question, I believe this same format is the same for LinkedIn, or is there a different format?
Yeah, the information that we put on your VIP resume is the same information we put on the LinkedIn profile. So in other words, it is your cover letter and your and your VIP resume combined that we use on your LinkedIn profile. There is a way we do it, but it's combining the cover letter and the VIP resume. That's what we use to put on the LinkedIn profile. But not everything on the VIP resume. Like some of the comments, we don't put the comments. We just put the statements.
Okay.
Yeah, but when you see, if you want to do a VIP resume, a LinkedIn profile, if you want us to do it for you, as I told you, as part of this training, we'll give you a video that will show you how to do it yourself.
Okay.
We'll also give you a video that will show you how to do the cover letter.
Okay.
Okay.
That was wonderful, and I hope me. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for your time, and
Thank you.
talk to you later.
All right, thank you.